Good morning. It is Monday, April 6th at 10 o'clock, and my name is Katie Carter. I'm the emergency response meteorologist with the National Weather Service. This should be a relatively quick briefing here. We do have a few minor concerns, mostly just drought related, even though yesterday, some of the state saw a good amount of rainfall. It really was a story of the haves and the have-nots, of who saw the rain and who didn't. And particularly those who didn't will have heightened fire weather conditions possible Tuesday and Wednesday. And then just overall statewide, very limited rainfall, little to even none, very likely even throughout all the way through next weekend or the upcoming weekend. So just those drought conditions definitely worsening. But we did see some appreciable rainfall for some yesterday. Temperature-wise today, we are right around or slightly cooler than normal, but relatively nice day. We did have some frost advisories for our far southwestern locations, Buchanan and Dickinson counties did have some frost advisories this morning, and that potential is going to be possible again in the coming mornings, a little bit more widespread because we just kind of have some cooler air that is going to arrive specifically on Tuesday and Wednesday. It looks like this graphic may not have updated for me here, but Tuesday and Wednesday going to be a little bit cooler than normal, and just kind of keeping that high pressure, generally speaking, over us. We do have a dry cold front that will move through the area by the middle of the week, but really not much concern there because we just have dry conditions. In fact, that is the main concern, the fact that it is going to remain dry. So you can see the temperature trend both tomorrow and Wednesday, definitely dropping down cooler than normal. Highs this time in early April in the upper 60s. So we're certainly cooler than that, especially come Wednesday, but we're not going to stay there. We're definitely going to warm up for the end of the week, and we'll be well into the 70s, if not even the low 80s for some as we get into the upcoming weekend. So kind of giving you a sense of where some of that heavier rainfall did fall yesterday. This is the past 24-hour rainfall. So this is radar indicated amounts along with our report. So you can see the definitely portions of southeastern Virginia and northern Virginia, and even kind of western central back to Lynchburg, all the way down to the Virginia, North Carolina state line, saw a decent amount of rainfall, but really the areas that didn't see much were far southwest, and then a lot of Richmond, south side, over to the northern neck, down to the Tri-Cities, and then back to roughly Mecklenburg, saw little to nothing. But those that did see the drier side of things have a better chance for those fire conditions, because specifically on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see some pretty gusty winds. We have a little bit of that today, so definitely Northern Virginia and Southwest Virginia have some gusty winds today. But Tuesday and Wednesday, all of those factors are going to come together. So we'll see those gusty winds. We also have really low relative humidity values for a good part of the state. Anything as low as the 20 to 30% range is definitely within that fire territory. And then pairing that with those who did not see much rain, and all the fuels, everything that can burn that's on the ground is just quite dry. Now, of course, those that did see the rain won't have the low humidity and the gusty winds. They just won't have that extra factor of the dry fuels. So those that see all three factors will have heightened fire weather concerns for both Tuesday and Wednesday. So that is something that we really need to keep in mind. But that's really our major concern for the week ahead, is just how dry it has been. In fact, now we looked at what we saw yesterday in terms of rainfall. This is our actual 7-day rainfall forecast. So even within the next 7 days, you see almost not a drop of rain in just about the entire Commonwealth. So very little to none. We expect our drought conditions to continue to worsen. So when we do get that update of the drought monitor, we will have more on our Thursday briefing, just timing wise. That is when we will get that new information about, how the week shaped up, and specifically how yesterday's rain may have helped some of the drought situation, but likely didn't put too much of a dent in it, if I'm being honest. So looking ahead, again, the next few days going to be on the cooler side, but you'll see a pretty decent warm up come Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and especially into Monday of next week, you'll see just how warm it's going to be, mid to even upper 80s for a lot of the state. Our overnight lows do get quite chilly. Wednesday morning, that is the coolest day, but even Thursday morning, we'll definitely see some cold air. So waking up a few cold mornings, if you jumped the gun a little bit early and did some planting outside, that kind of thing, you need to take measures to protect the sensitive vegetation, because we are expecting a frost and possibly in a few select locations getting close to that hard freeze with some mid to upper 20s possible Wednesday and Thursday morning. Besides that, our probability of precipitation is quite low because, well, we don't have much to work with in terms of moisture to give us that rainfall. Looking in more of the midterm, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook for that April 11th through the 15th timeframe, getting up to tax day, well above average is what we are looking at in terms of temperatures. And just as we expected, we are in the about normal or even below normal for our precipitation. So definitely could use an increase there. In terms of space weather, things are looking good here. We don't see any disruptions, so it is no geomagnetic storms are expected, at least in the short term. So that is what I have weather-wise for you, just dry and of course, cascading impacts as a result of that. We will keep an update on our drought situation and have that update from the U.S. Drought Monitor and other state agencies such as DEQ coming up a little bit later this week. But that's what I have for you, pending any questions. Have a great week, everyone.